Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another of my podcasts. My name is Nicole Blake, and this is Parenting Unplugged. And this evening, guys, I just want to welcome you wherever you're listening from. If you're a new parent, welcome. If you're a seasoned parent, welcome. If you're just listening for by accident, I still welcome you, wherever part of the world you're listening from. I am your host this evening, and my name is Nicole Blake, and I'm an author. And this evening, we are going to talk about picky eaters. Picky eaters is like a child who is fussy. They're very particular about their food. They will they don't eat certain things. They won't that some you have some picky eaters who doesn't like food with certain texture. Some you will have some that doesn't like their food touching on the plate. So picky eaters, sometimes we limit it to say just probably what the child likes to eat. And most time for toddlers is they can be fussy eaters. But I'm here to tell you, parents, yes, a lot of parents have concern, but it's a normal thing for them to refuse to eat certain food. And some of the time they refuse because how it looks. They probably refuse to eat because even before they taste it. So one of the things is they if it's and it can be certain colors. So there are certain things that you have to look out for. So I'm going to give you some tips this afternoon on picky eaters. And before I talk to you about that, I'm just going to show you. Oh, I lost my page. I was going to tell you now, this is my book that I've written on parenting. And in it, I have written a chapter on fussy eaters. I think chapter 7. And chapter 7 is, find the page, and just tell you a little bit. So in it, I talk about fussy eaters. So I said, this and this, they will develop over. So this I talk about how about being healthy eating, and also in my healthy eating, I'm gonna mark the page and put it down because later I might just read you something for it. So as we jump right into it, like I said, if you're first time, if you want to go and grab your cup of coffee, got a drink and relax, sit down, listen. Maybe you are getting ready to go to bed. I'm not sure what you're doing, but I just want to say thank you for listening in tonight. And my name is Nicole Blake, and this is Parenting Unplugged. So we're going to look at some of the strategies that we can use. So one of the things is over variety time, instead of worrying about what your child eats in a single day. Maybe you should probably it would be good. So these are just some tips. Have a like a calendar or a record of what your child is eating like on a daily basis, so you can actually see what is it your child likes to eat. And everything I do in parenting, I always say to a parent is know your child. What is your child interest? Because it's from your child's interest that you can develop this overall knowledge of your child. So so when I said observe your child, know what your child likes to eat. I also keep a dialogue of what they're eating. So you write down like for the day what you've offered them and what they've ate. Like take for instance today in my workplace when I did the fruits, and normally there's a certain amount of children sitting at the table, and so I'd normally give them the fruits. But today there was only one child, so I gave her three different types of fruit. I gave her apple, banana, and orange, and she ate the banana and she ate the apple, and she didn't eat the orange. So for me, I didn't know that she doesn't like orange, and then the staff said to me, "Oh, she doesn't like orange," because normally there are other children on the table, so I have no idea of what fruits she like. So that was an observation for me. So I know that when she's on her own, then I won't give her orange because she doesn't like it, or I'll try to introduce it to her in a different format so that she develop the taste for it. So I will talk later about develop how you go about building that up, because sometimes you have to introduce them to new food anyway, because they're just growing up, so you're going to learn how to introduce them to new food. So over a variety of time, they need to eat from all the different foods. They need to have protein, carbohydrate, they need to have water, they need to have all of these are put together to make up the five different food plant. So this is what you're going to do. I'm forgetting my word right there just now. So for different food groups, that's the word, not plant. from the different food groups. So they need fruit and they need veg, they need starch, they need carbohydrate, they need dairy, or dairy products, alternatives, and protein. So these are things that they will need. So how we say intake, you have to keep an eye to make sure they're getting all of these in their everyday meal. So if a child is not eating, like for instance, they're not having any fruit and veg, and how do you get their fruit and veg? Because introducing it to them, and at what stage do you introduce them to fruit and veg, are some of the things. And so it's about keeping track, or keeping track of what they're eating. And how do you do that? So one of the ways to do that is, because children taste changes over time. That's why I said you need to like introduce them to different food. So like you might introduce them, say for instance, to kiwi today as a fruit, and they don't eat it. Maybe leave it a couple of days and then introduce them to it again. And also one of the things I would say as a parent is, if the child, you have to also model that behavior. So if you don't eat that fruit, if you like taste it and go yuck, the message you're sending to a child is that it's not nice. I know it sounds funny, but yeah. And so you don't eat it, the child won't eat it. So that's where we come in, where I'm going to say you lead by example. If you eat it, the child will eat it. If you don't eat it, you don't eat. Because I remember when I first come to this country, there are certain foods I was introduced to, which as a Jamaican, I was not introduced to. So for me, it took a time for me to acquire the taste for it, if you know what I mean. So, and then there are certain things. So when I have my first child, the same thing. I have to introduce her to certain foods. Even now, there are certain foods that I don't eat, but I introduce my children to it so that they not become like me. They have a more palatable tongue, as it were, for different type of food. So introduce them to different food. And one of the things is, if you're at your dining table, one of the things is sit your child, let your child sit at the table with you. If in your house, and not everybody has a dining table, so but wherever you're putting your child to sit, let the child, as a family, it would be good to have a family table, and everybody sits around the dining table. And when everyone is sitting around the dining table, then you can see, and the child can see, and they will see you enjoying meal, and they can enjoy the meal. So that's one of the things. And probably don't put a lot of food on the children's plate when you're starting up. Put a little bit of food, and so let them have opportunity to experience or taste different things. If the child is old enough that they can help you in the kitchen, at moms and dads, grandmas, carers, start with, make it fun. Like, what are we going to do today? What would you like to eat? Just fun things. And maybe if the child is, say, 5-6 years old, they can make a list of what they want, and then you can go shopping together, and you prepare the meal together. Because if they support you to prepare that meal, they're more likely to eat that meal. So, okay, we're gonna go shopping. What we having for dinner? And get them involved in the preparation of the meal is one of the things I would say, because that would help them. So also when it comes to giving children their meals, one of the things I bring in the healthy eating is about the size, the portion, child size portion, in terms of how much food you give them, because a child's portion is different from an adult portion, because a child's stomach is a different size from an adult's size. So don't give your child an adult plate. Start there, because if you give the child an adult plate, you're going to tend to want to full the plate. So have a child size plate to give the child on, and make it and probably, if you can have the food also, make a buffet style, put it in bowls, and also size spoon where they can pick up and share for themselves, so they can share themselves. Because not only are they learning hand-eye coordination by picking up the spoon and moving it from one space to another, they're developing the fine motor skills in their hands to do things like this. I mean, it might sound weird, but these are little things that support your child. So I'm going to go back to my book. Like I said to you, this is my book that I wrote on parenting. So I'd love for you to pick up a copy. It's on Amazon. And or if you go on my website, which I will tell you later, I'll probably put in the chat, but it's www.nicoleblake.com, and you can see my books. All the other books that I wrote are on there. Yes, I do a little bit of writing. So this book is on parenting, and like I said, there's a whole chapter that I have here on healthy eating, and it tells you about child size. It tells you about how to involve everyone in the cooking and stuff like that. The do's and don'ts when it comes to your child diet. Making sure they eat from all the food groups. Eating a healthy diet means that the food will consume give our body all sorts of nutrients, stuff like that. Interesting things that you will find in my book. Fruits, how you can introduce your child to fruits, even babies, 6 months babies, how you start when you start weaning them from milk, how you can introduce them to fruits and veg, and ways to do that. So if you are interested, this is my book, and this is Parenting Unplugged, guys. I'm not gonna rush off, but it's good chatting to you for a while. It's really good talking to you guys. So I look forward to next week. And remember, I'm on every Thursday afternoon on Parenting Unplugged. This is Nicole Blake, your host. And until next week, I hope you enjoy today's program. And this was on healthy eating. And if you want any more information, please, you can go on my website, because on my website I've got other podcasts you can listen to. There's also blogs on different topics. I do topics around diet. I do topics on fussy eaters, certain routines, bedtime routines, speech and language, stuff like that. So if you have time and you would like to, I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your comments and what do you think of my podcast, what do you think of my website, what do you think of the work that I'm doing. And if there's any topic you'd like me to talk on, guys, feel free to reach out to me. I'm here for you. I'm your host, Nicole Blake. I am a parent coach, and this is Parenting Unplugged. And until next week, I hope you have a great week. And remember, parenting don't have to be hard. You just have to enjoy different aspects and take it in bite size. And you're doing great jobs, parents. Let me tell you this. From one parent to another, you are doing good. So thank you for listening, and hope to see you next week. Okay, have a great day. Thank you.